Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you with my co-host, Lucky Stone. Thank you for joining me tonight.
My pleasure.
Great. Now, I sent out a few invites, and I know everybody can't make it. So here's the thing. If you want to come on and join us tonight, I will put a link in the chat. And if you want, you can come on and talk about, we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving, but more or less, we're going to be talking about giving thanks. Now, we're putting a spin on it here because there's a difference between Thanksgiving and giving thanks. So let's find out what the difference is tonight. So anyway, I'm going to find the link here, and then I'll put it in chat. So, but anyway, what can you tell me what you think is going on with thanks and give it? Why isn't this thing no copy and paste? Anyway, sorry about that. I'm trying to paste and it won't paste.
No, I know how it is. Just sometimes just gotta relax, just let it flow. Yeah.
No, I know I clicked the button, but it just didn't go. I had the clicky finger today. I sent out all the wrong links to the stream.
It's honestly this time of year, so much has happened where with computers, just things happen, and you can't, blame yourself. Just have to, just reassess and go forward.
Yeah, I got to take that deep breath, and I'm in the middle of a move, everybody. I'm in the middle of a move, and a lot of heavy lifting here, and you guys out there aren't helping me, so tough luck. Now, if I get some of you guys to come over here and help me pick up all this stuff and move it around and throw it in the trailer, I wouldn't say nothing. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Scotty Boy says he'd tell us what the difference is. But anyway, give me your version of what's the difference between thanks and Thanksgiving.
Well, Thanksgiving is a holiday, and it's out there to remember the pilgrims thanking God for their safe passage and the bounty that they had. But it's less, which truthfully, they were supposed to be thanking the natives who actually helped them get the food, which they would have starved to death.
Yeah.
The Thanksgiving is about thanking God. That's what it was about, because they believed that God, blessed them and stuff. But we daily have to appreciate the little things in life. That's what I learned 20 years ago, maybe. And it just probably as time went on, it became more and more stronger, where if I see a dime on the ground, I pick it up and say, thank you so much for this bounty. Thank you. Penny, pick it up. Thank you so much for the bounty. And it keeps going, and it's just those little things. And when you thank the spirits or even God, if you thank God for giving you this wonderful small token of appreciation, and you appreciate it greatly, more will come. And you'll notice more little things like that. I mean, that's what giving thanks is all about. The little things. The big things are easy. The little things, that's the challenge.
Yeah, the little things are a challenge. People forget the little things. They just skim right over it. They only look at the big picture. And that's what a lot of people do, even on not just, but on a lot of things. They only look, and that's a good way that propaganda fools people. Because they know that if you shake this hand over here with a pretty something, that this little hand over here that's shaking, you won't notice it. You'll only notice the one. Hey, what am I doing? What's this hand doing? Look at it, just disappeared. And we'll only notice that we don't look for the littler things, like you said, you find a dime on the ground and you give thanks that you found it, or a penny. Doesn't mean that penny's worthless. I mean, you can't really buy much with a penny, but you have enough pennies, and then it adds up to something that's more. So anyway,
it isn't even the penny itself, its value. It's just intrinsically copper. The penny itself, the copper and the zinc and the penny are worth more than the penny itself.
Yes.
So there's a spiritual value to pennies that's special. It's value more than it's actually face value. It's a strange little thing which I connect to. that the penny itself is a symbolic gesture rather than an actual value gesture. That's
Mm-hmm.
how mine works. I really appreciate the pennies just because I think they're wonderful. They're like, hey, because no one else notices them,
Yeah, nobody else notices it. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, high schoolers would whip pennies at the other kids or something.
Mhm.
I'd go pick them all up.
Mhm.
Yes, I would. Well, let's give a big shout out to all the people in the chat. Scotty Boy's in the house. Lori Elderkin, thank you for making it tonight. I know it gets late night for you. Mary Wins. We got Courtney in the house. Courtney MC, who will be here next week with you too. And we're going to be talking pilgrims and all that good stuff because you have relatives that go way back to the day. And we'll wait till then. And Sarah Nelson says, hi, history. That Sarah knows me as history. That's for a good thing. And Nina the Mystic. And don't forget, people, join me and Nina tomorrow night on Horns of the Goddess for Sin Day Live. Because you know what? That's the best show in town on Sunday night. And Off the Hook. And she was the first one in chat. So there you go. She's a little early. But anyway, thank you all for coming. And back to the show. Okay, and as always, I have things to present. And I like your description of being thankful for everything. But what does the Google have to say about it? And it says, is giving thanks the same as being thankful? Good question. What's the difference between Thanksgiving and giving thanks? What is it? The difference? Giving thanks is a focus more of the internal rather than the external expression of gratitude. It's about being thankful for things we have in our lives that we describe as spiritually, feeling of love, being thankful as a deeper or much deeper level for the good in our lives, the good within us. Interesting. I think a lot of people forget about the good within us. And
yeah,
I think that's a thing to try to remember. People forget that they are good. If you're part of a religion, they're always trying to tell you how bad you are. You're a sinner. You're this, you're that, you're a heathen, blah, 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 burn in hell kind of stuff. Well, you know what I say to that? Focus on your internal, and you're a good person. And there's Pamela Jean. Thank you for coming. Anyway, and that's what I see. I see a little bit of good in everybody, and you can see that in movies. Like even Star Wars. Remember Luke saying, "Oh, I know there's some good in you. Save me." Yes, he's about to, and he chops his arm off. I know you're good. I know there's some good in you. And eventually he did come around, didn't he? But Thanksgiving is coming up. What are you doing for giving thanks? Or are you going to be thankful of? I know I'm going to be thankful of getting done with this move. That's for sure. I'm going to be, I was thinking about that all day today. And my thoughts, I'm thankful I'm here and I'm living life. And I'm having an adventure every single day because this is the best day I've ever had. Every day. That's what I'm thankful for. And I'm thankful for myself. What do you see? What do you think is in?
Honestly, I go day by day. Thankful that I have the park that I get to walk through. Thankful that I have the family who respect me, and just these little things in life. Thank you for coworkers who pull their weight. That's so important to me. Coworkers who pull the weight, because the coworkers who don't pull their weight make my job entirely torturous. But those little things, because I could dwell on the ones who don't pull their weight, but then again, it gets me nowhere. but if I'm thankful and tell them I appreciate, everything you've done for me, that's another important thing is that when you have people in your life who deserve it, you tell them, you thank them, as much as you possibly can. Don't make it over the top, just a little bit day by day, because too much, it just becomes boring and they just become desensitized to it. But once in a while, it's important, it's like a gift. It's hard to say what the balance between being thankful every day and being thankful just enough, but
Yeah.
especially coworkers, because they're burned out. Yeah.
I think we don't say that enough. You're right. Because it when somebody tells me that they're thankful for what I do, sometimes I feel a little bit embarrassed.
Mhm.
But later on I go away thinking how wonderful that was to be appreciated. It was very, very helpful to be appreciated.
Just the truth right there.
Because I think a lot of times we don't think that of ourselves. I think that's one of the big problems in this world is we don't think enough of ourselves to thank ourselves either. I mean, I know a lot of people out there who will buy other people things and do stuff for others, and then they forget about themselves.
That's a big thing. You're right there. A lot of us, we buy things at the whim. We have to have an excuse to buy it. But that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people like that?
Myself. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm always trying to be nice to people and get things. I always think of others before I try to think of myself. But then again, I think, well, I have what I need, and I want to share. It makes me feel good. It's a good feeling to share what I got, and maybe I hope. This is what I'm thinking. I hope that someday, when how should I put it? When I need help, that somebody comes and shares and helps me. That's all I can ask for.
I hope so too. That does come. Honestly, when you were talking about your moving,
Yeah.
and I remembered where back 20 years ago where I helped everyone move. Because I was the guy with the truck. I had a little truck, but my truck, a couple trips, I was the guy everyone helped. And then when it came time for me to move, I got no help. But I had my little truck, so at the time my wife was pregnant, and so it was kind of like it was me, and she would of course suggest adamantly how to pack things, and I'm like, I've had this truck for years. I've always had trucks. I know how to pack, but I'm like, you know what? Thank you. And then I would pack the truck, to it. So yeah, that sort of comes down to that. Generous people tend to help everyone, and then it comes time to get themselves some help. It's dust, cobwebs and tumbleweeds. Where is everybody?
Yeah. Well, I wish I had. Teresa says, I don't think there's a person in here who wouldn't help you, Robert. And I'm sure she's right. Scotty says he's here for me. But back to Teresa, that's the idea is if all you people were my neighbors, I would have the best neighborhood in the world. The problem is you live too darn far away.
and that's one of the ideas that maybe that all of us are living in hell, because honestly, this is torture. All the good quality people are so far apart,
Yeah.
and it's just a weird situation.
Yeah.
But it would be the perfect example of hell, where we're all compassionate, helping people, but we're so far apart that we really can't help each other. But these are things I think about. The best versions of hell are basically the one you're living and trying to live day to day. Pitchforks and fire and everything. Yeah, it's scary, but eventually get used to it and you go, hell, I give up.
I know it. Courtney says this Thanksgiving, I'm opening my doors for those I know don't have anywhere to go. Everyone can share. And that is so true, Courtney. I tell you what, back in the day when I was younger, people did that for me. They were like, hey, you got any place to go? And I'd be like, nope. And they were like, come on over. And I tell you, I had more Thanksgiving dinners and more Christmas dinners and more food taken home than I could shake a stick at. I had the best Thanksgiving. I had more Thanksgivings than I ever thought I'd ever have. And, just because I didn't have any place to go. And now you're right. Lucky, you are so right. Now I live so far away from everybody. And even if I wanted to have people over for Thanksgiving, I could cook the biggest turkey. I could afford all the food. I can do all these things and nobody would come. So
I got a really funny story. Just remembering this. It was about 25 years ago when I was single and I was supposed to go up to Canada with a few friends. And the friends all ended up not going. But I had the tickets to different shows. I had everything planned out. And I'm like, you know what, guys? I'm going. I ended up going to Canada during their Canadian Thanksgiving. I got no less than 6 invitations to dinner.
Dang.
I was at a bar. I had met a girl online, blah, blah, blah. We met, and it wasn't. So I walked to her car, and I came back to the bar. And basically, it got past closing. I'm sorry, you guys, it's past closing. And they're like, God, don't worry about it. You're a good friend,
Mm-hmm.
And they go, what are you going to do tomorrow? I'm like, I'm going to drive to, different city. Look at that.
He's got his earplugs now. Yeah. David Knoll, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us tonight.
So I ended up basically at the bar. He told me, oh, come over to my family. And I'm like, no, I got to be in another city. And on the way out, he gave me a couple bottles of beer. And, I still have it, a glass carved with the bar's glass, which has their name and everything on it. So I end up going in. So as I'm driving and I pull over because I got lost because I'm alone, I'm reading the map and there's a knock on my door. And I'm like, oh, and I roll the window down. He goes, are you lost, son? And I'm like, no. I'm just trying to get my way to this city. And he goes, it's Thanksgiving. I mean, we going to see family? No, I'm going. I'm all alone. He goes, come, me and my wife and my kids. My kids will be here in a few hours. You can come to dinner with us.
Dang.
So in Canada, they see a person alone, they will invite you to dinner. And I've never experienced that my whole life. And that's when basically I realized maybe people aren't that bad. That was just true. Constantly. I had to wait at the ferry to go across the little thing. And different families were like, yeah, we're going this, you can come with us, just follow us. No, I got to be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Canadians are weird people, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yes. Thank you, David Knoll, Hawkeye Two Feathers. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight. We are talking about Thanksgiving, but more importantly, giving thanks and what does it mean to you?
Yep. Hi, y'all. Are you getting any echo?
No, we're good. I don't have to mute you every time.
Cool beans. I found I looked for 2 hours the other night for these deadgum pink earphones. Instead of having dark ones or brown ones or blue ones, I could find these, right? Well, it took me 2 days to find them, and then it was by accident. How you doing, Lucky?
I'm well, thank you.
Good to see you. I didn't get your email, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, Robert's on tonight? I was watching Florida State whoop up on Northern Alabama.
Well, there you go. Were they winning?
Oh, it was like 58-13.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, Florida. There's happiness in Tallahassee tonight.
Nice.
If you're down here on the Florida line, that's a big thing. But anyway, hi, Teresa and everybody. It's good to see you all. And talking about I was listening to y'all before I logged in, and I've got some friends of mine who, they're in their early to mid 40s.
Mhm.
They're not 50 yet, kind of thing. They got kids that are 14, 15 years old. And here's one of the things that so she wants to have a traditional again after 13 years of having a traditional turkey dinner and having family and friends and everybody come over, and that at Thanksgiving they usually pick draw names for Christmas.
Yep.
And she's like, we talked the other day, and she says nobody wants to come.
What?
Nobody wants to come. They're like, well, I don't know. If I have to come to Thanksgiving and pick names, then that means I'm going to have to buy a Christmas present for somebody. And, well, I don't know. I just don't think I'm going to go.
Oh, the
And it's like, what? So for myself as well, it seems like tradition for whatever it is, whether it's a turkey dinner or, there there are a lot of folks in Thomasville that go to the local Chinese restaurant for Thanksgiving. I mean, they're like full on Thanksgiving, and it's a Chinese, but whatever the tradition is, it doesn't seem like anybody wants to do a tradition anymore.
Yeah.
What do y'all see?
The times are changing.
That's the truth. Even 10 years from now, 10 years ago, things are much different. Constantly, I used to get several, different, trying to figure out which family to go to or not, and now it's easy because it's usually one or two, usually one invitation.
Well, I have to chime in. I don't think people cook anymore. I really don't. I don't think people cook. And since they don't cook, they can't cook the big turkey dinner.
They don't know how to cook. That's the truth, Yeah. The ones that we go to are usually potluck, where someone will bring something, the main family cooks a turkey and everyone else will bring a main dish or a dessert.
Yeah. Pamela says, I'm tired of cooking. I could do without tradition. Pamela, I hate to say it, but most people have a tradition if you like it or not. If you get up every morning at 7:00, that's kind of a tradition. If you, say you like pancakes on Saturday, that's kind of a tradition. It doesn't matter. We're talking about the big tradition, like Christmas or Thanksgiving and, other holidays that people celebrate. Those are the big ones. And those could be traditions if you get together with your family or friends, or maybe if you say on 4th of July, I climb to that tall mountain over there and I watch those fireworks. That's a tradition. So not all traditions are bad, so it's just the way it is. But anyway, point is, cooking a dinner. People can't cook. If you can't cook, you don't want to have friends over. You're waiting for somebody to, and maybe that's the whole point. They're waiting for somebody else to invite them. I don't know. David, you've been around for more Thanksgivings than either one of us. So
rub it in. Go ahead. Rub it in. Go ahead. But I was just thinking, it used to be, I remember my granny Raleigh, and she was like, she was always humming in the kitchen, and something in the kitchen with Dinah, someone's in the kitchen, I know, anyway. She was old traditionalist and made some of the best chicken and dumplings you ever put in your mouth.
Yep.
Slap your mama kind of thing. But, for the holidays, it was like, it was a privilege to cook for the family on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily a chore. Now, other folks that I've known over the years, they're like, oh, well, I just hate cooking. Well, listen, you only cook once a year anyway. Everything you cook goes in a microwave. People heat stuff up on the stove. You don't cook. I got all over him, and I was like, one day a year, you're going to bitch about cooking. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear it. It's TV dinners for the kids and the family, and you're complaining you have to cook a turkey, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. I remember my mother, she buys this big turkey once a year from the Amish. And it's the one year was so big, she barely could get it into the oven. It had to be 20, 30 pounder or something. It was huge. Anyway, the point is she'd get this turkey, cook it in the oven, and she cooked all the good stuff. She'd make those pies. My mother's a good pie maker. She could make really good crust. Pie, people, is not about the filling. It's about the crust. If the crust is better than the filling, you know you made a good pie. And we're not talking Martha Stewart. We're talking good pie. Anyway, so the thing is, the pies were good, the stuffing, and a whole 9 yards. She worked her butt off, because I've done dinners like that, Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas or whatever. It's a lot of flipping work. It really is. I mean, work, time. You got to know how to cook the turkey. You got to have, you know what? I never even thought about this. You got to have the equipment to do it. You can't just cook that turkey here. I got a turkey and cook it. You got to have big pots. You got to have a lot of food. It costs a lot of money too. And a lot of people can't afford that nowadays. Teresa was just saying she used to cook for 12 to 14 people for a Christmas or a dinner. You know what it would cost to feed 14 people nowadays?
A lot.
Yeah, you're talking at least 10, 15 bucks a plate, if not more. And then you're going to have some leftovers. And
what the hell are you going to feed them? Wait a minute. Hang on. Wait a minute. I can feed for $5 or less. Wait, hang on here.
well, you're talking
what the hell? What are you feeding them?
I'm talking the traditional Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, you're going to end up with leftover. Look at this. You got the turkey. A turkey's going to cost you about $20 or better. You got a pie, the pecans. You know how much pecans cost nowadays? They're darn tootin' expensive. That's not
you don't live in Georgia.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't.
I'm sorry. I'm just picking on y'all.
It costs more up north because they got to ship all the stuff up here.
That's right.
Yep. I just got to go out and pick some up.
Yeah, look they got carrots, peas, broccoli, fruits, and looks like I don't know what the heck that stuff is down there. But anyway, looks like some sort of potatoes,
Brussels sprouts, and something else.
Brussels sprouts, that's what it is.
I have no idea what else is in there though.
Looks like sausage slices or
pepperoni
with feta cheese. That looks pretty good though. And gravy. You know how hard gravy is to make? Gravy is not really easy to make, and if you have to buy it, it's really expensive. But look, you got onions and carrots, and here's the thing, and here's some peanuts. You know how much peanuts are? Peanuts and almonds and whatever. Those are expensive too. They'll break the bank. Some olives, them little onion things that go in there. Oh my gosh, and cranberries. I mean, you're talking all these. Here's some lemons, fresh lemons. You know how much fresh lemons are? I tell you, they're expensive. I like buying fresh lemons. I like fresh lemons. And call me goofy, but anyway, it's expensive. She says, Nina, do you cook a Christmas goose? Gooses are really expensive. So don't cook one of them. They'll break I seen one in the store. They're like $40. They're 50. I don't know. I remember it was expensive. Or was that a duck? I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know how much you think this traditional Thanksgiving dinner will cost you.
I guess it depends on where you live because peanuts are cheap down here. And all the other stuff is cheap. Pecans, you go pick them up and make them. Um, Cranberries about the only thing we can't get down here. Other than that,
Yeah. I'm looking this up. How much does the average Thanksgiving dinner will cost this year? And oh boy,
$200 to $300. What?
No, I didn't say that.
Teresa did. Teresa, how many people are that going to be?
Yeah, really, honestly.
$200 to $300. Teresa, holy cow! It says here. This is what this place says. Barron's says Thanksgiving dinner cooked at home is going to cost less costly last year than thanks. Okay, drop 4.5%, $61.17 this year, or $6.12 a person.
Okay.
Okay, nearly half of the total comes from the $27.35 price for the 16-pound frozen whole turkey. Wow, there you go. So there it is. It costs for the turkey. The rest of the estimated traditional meal price gleaned from stuffing, sweet potatoes, dinner rolls, frozen peas, fresh cranberries, celery, carrots, pumpkin pie. We didn't even talk about pumpkin pie, did we? Pie shells, whipping cream, whole milk, and survey said. So the things, adding into the dishes and the boneless ham, frozen green peas, would be $84 if you have a ham. A boneless ham and russet potatoes will make it $84. So go with the turkey, people. I'm just saying.
Cranberries are my area because I grew up in the Northeast where we have cranberry bogs. My house, we were surrounded by cranberry bogs. Our land didn't have cranberry bogs, but they were near us. And that's one of the problems with my marriage is that I would drink cranberry juice normally. My wife found that abhorrent.
Really?
Yeah. Well, she's Asian, where rice is normal. Cranberries, they just foreign to them because you can't grow fake cranberries except for the Northeast of Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was these is a snack, craisins that I enjoy. And my wife thought they were raisins at one point and they went bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I like cranberries. I grew up in Wisconsin, and there's cranberry. We had the big cranberry festival in Warrens every year. It was great. So a lot of stuff there, but I think David Null wins the prize since he said $5, and we were all at like 10 or 15. So I really thought it was to be at least 10. For sure.
What you're bringing, I guess depends what you're cooking, and
well, that's what it says. $84 if you do a few extra things or have ham, and I agree with that. Things cost more, whatever, and so but it's the point. What are we being thankful for, and what are we shouldn't we be thankful every day, regardless?
Oh, absolutely.
Just thankful every day. Let's see. Teresa says here, look at September 11th, 2023. The prime rib dinner is the most expensive menu on the Safeway Thanksgiving list. For a serving of 6 to 8 people, it would cost you around $90. Woohoo! Don't eat the prime rib, people. If you want to eat cheap, eat the turkey.
If it's $90 and there's 8 people, that's only $10 a person.
And that's prime rib. That's prime rib. That's prime rib.
I don't even think that's possible. I see what prime rib is in the store, at least here, and $20 doesn't get you much of a slice.
And prime rib dinner, what is
You're having a baked potato, a slice of prime rib, and a piece of parsley, and there you go.
You eat. Your garnish is your dessert.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't say it.
Well, if you're trying to cut corners, if there's 4 people, what do you need 20-pound turkey for? Because that's 5 pounds a person.
Yeah, you don't.
I mean, really.
Well,
So you go for a 12-pound turkey, or you go for a smaller turkey. I mean, so there's ways to cut in corners. But good gosh, Teresa, I'd have to take a loan out to come eat at your house.
yeah.
But but you don't get turkey to eat it all on Thanksgiving. The idea of getting a turkey dinner is to have leftovers, because that was my favorite part of Thanksgiving, was the food, eating it, leftovers. Those leftovers were much better than anything else. I don't know. That was just for me. I loved, the stuffing and the turkey, and that's what it. The stuffing would survive. Turkey, mashed potatoes, you can't reheat mashed potatoes, but the carrots and stuff, you can reheat those. Those are pretty strong.
Yeah,
that was
I remember what my mother would take that turkey and she'd mix it up with some mayonnaise or something, and we'd have like a turkey sandwich spread or something. It was pretty good. It's pretty good. But,
God, mayonnaise and a piece of bread and maybe a little lettuce, and at about 2:00 in the morning with the refrigerator door open.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, here we go with our next point. Do we actually celebrate Thanksgiving, or why do we celebrate Thanksgiving? And I think we all know this one. And Thanksgiving is commonly known as a way to commemorate the colonists' Pilgrim's Harvest meal that they shared with the Wampanoag Indians.
Wampanoag. You're going to give me so much trouble. Wampanoag.
Wampanoag. Okay, sorry.
If James watches this and sees this, Wampanoag.
Well, I am the king of mispronunciation.
But James is my friend. He's a Wampanoag. He's very proud. So, and James is not his native name. James is his white name, he calls it, which is
like to get him on for Thanksgiving special.
You never see him on one of these shows, unfortunately. He's an opinionated, kind of strong-minded individual.
Well, we like opinions. Well, the thing is first year they arrived in 1620 and 1621, although there's a controversy about whether or not the meal was originally intended to. Well, and that's the thing. I read so much about it. We're going to talk about it more next week about, did the Pilgrims really celebrate, or were they just like, where we finally somebody, I don't know. I remember reading where they landed and they stole some corn and they did repay it back, though.
Weren't they
No,
into
they didn't. No, they didn't. That I know.
Well, I read about it, and it said that they, in one of my books, it says they did repay the corn.
That's the thing. You got to remember, the people that they paid back, they're the ones who have the story also. And, it's a kind of a contentious, but kind of lighthearted. It depends. But yeah, unfortunately, the tribes weren't Wampanoag. They were from the island, from the Cape itself. From the Massaquat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unfortunately, I know too much because I have friends who were on the other side of the equation.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's why I read so many books, because from especially way back in the day, because it's each one gives you a little bit of something that the other one will say something like, the Pilgrims came and they stole food from the Indians to celebrate their special day. And other ones say, oh yeah, no. If you listen to it, see, the Pilgrims harvested and then they shared with the Indians their bountiful harvest. Wasn't that nice of them? So who's right? Who's really right?
it gets complicated. That's what it is, because the people they stole from are not the ones that they paid back. They paid back another tribe, which were so it goes back to that. It's such a the story itself is if you it's hilarious, but James tells it really well. But that's not the point. Yeah. Unfortunately, history. The people who tell the history, the ones with the bigger mouth. And
yeah.
Well, the white man, their story's the right one. You ought to know that. I mean, hands down. I mean, and did the white man pay them Indians back? Oh, yeah. All the way to the West Coast.
Yeah. Exactly.
It gets complicated. That's the thing.
They paid him back all right. Not. Oh boy, yeah. It's a bad deal there. Let's move on before we step on too many toes.
Yeah, we're gonna piss off a bunch of white people.
That's right, or some Native Americans. Either way, colonists in New England and Canada regularly observe Thanksgiving, days of prayer for such blessings as safe journeys, military victories, or abundant harvests. Americans model their holiday on a 1621 harvest feast shared between the Wampanoag people and the English colonists known as the Pilgrims. Wampanoag. I keep thinking, I don't know why I want to say an O on the end.
It's tough. It's a really written weird word.
Yes,
unfortunately,
I
know that's the problem. I know them, and that's another point of contention.
Well,
what is how it's spelled?
No, I have family who believe that our ancestors go back to an extension of the Wampanoag tribe, and unfortunately, I had to explain to them that they looked into it, and it's not true. That the individual that they believe was Wampanoag was from further out west, which were actually the enemy.
Oh.
It's again my family. Unfortunately, I know Wampanoag people, and they would love to bring more people in just to help protect the tribe itself. But of course, you can't be in until they do a real thorough check.
Yeah, especially with DNA testing nowadays and everything. You just can't be like them guys on TV and say, I want to play an Indian. And it turns out the Indians that played Indians weren't really Indians. Remember what was his name? Chief Iron Eyes? Remember him with the tear coming down his face? He was in a lot of movies and stuff. And apparently he was a Greek. He wasn't Native American at all.
That's true.
Jay Silverheels played on Lone Ranger. Apparently he was from Canada, and we don't even know if he was Indian or not. I mean, it's like they were saying, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this just blows my mind. All these guys that were Indian aren't really Indian. Frustrating.
It's just life.
Well, look at in the movie, Johnny Depp played Tonto in the Lone Ranger movie, and Johnny Depp isn't no Indian. How is he? But that wasn't the best Lone Ranger movie, people. Don't bother watching it. That was
sorry.
That was a pretty sad one. I gave up the ghost on that one when Silver jumped onto the roof of the house, and then he jumped onto the moving train from a platform as it was speeding by, and I just went, that's just too much. Anyway, here we go. Okay. So anyway, why do the Canadians celebrate Thanksgiving? I don't know. I mean, we're celebrating it because of the colonists and the Indians and this big feast they had and all of that. But why are the Canadians doing it? I don't see the Canadians in here doing the celebrating now. Do you? Is there a difference between it? Is there something I'm missing? It's
a good day for a holiday.
Yeah. I I don't see the Canadian flag here. Not to say that they can't celebrate a Thanksgiving, but why wouldn't they celebrate it on the? Is there different? I'm missing something. I don't know. I really don't know, people.
Well, in Canada, they celebrate their Thanksgiving on what we call Columbus Day. And
Yeah.
no one wants to get involved with that.
Oh, that's what it is. But look at this. They paint this picture so well, don't they? Did you notice? Here's all the pilgrims sitting together at a table, and you make the Indians sit over at the Indian table over here.
Yeah, unfortunately, these are not what the pilgrims dress like.
No, probably not.
These are more Puritan than pilgrims, and pilgrims were separatists. Not. Again, I know too much. This is where I grew up, and I knew all this information. And these children, these people are dressed too well. They would be more, they wouldn't be wearing. It's so much. There's so much in this picture but yeah.
Yeah.
But where are the natives? Where are the Indians? I don't. Over there, way in the corner.
You're in the corner over here. Over here. They're sitting over to the side, waiting for them to throw them the leftovers.
No. To the right hand side, there's one right there.
Oh, there's the chief. He gets to sit with them. Look, they got turkey on the table. And
no, most likely it was Squanto, who spoke English.
Yes, Squanto. Yes.
Oh.
Now here's my problem with this. Who sits down at the table wearing their sword?
Miles Standish.
Miles Standish.
This is probably symbolic in every way.
Yeah.
Because you would have Miles Standish next to Squanto because
translation.
No, Squanto speaks English. Miles Standish speaks English.
Yes, but he's a translator for the Indians.
And Miles Standish's defense. So
yeah.
And they're both looking out across to the water, so in case something else happens around towards the native. This is all symbolic. It's crazy.
Yeah. Something to learn here, isn't
There's
it?
a lot of information in this picture that they're trying to convey.
Huh. Well, see, this is
yeah, don't forget the guy in the middle with his hands clasped praying.
Oh yeah, you always got to have the priest in the background there doing something. See, now that's the thing. Now, if this was Miles Standish, they had a priest that didn't, I don't know. It just makes me wonder. Interesting.
Well, from an interesting standpoint, not growing up as a Catholic, if there was somebody offering a prayer, everybody had their heads bowed and they had their hands together. So whatever he's doing is like all by himself kind of thing. Nobody's.
But Miles Standish has got his head down.
Yeah, his head
and then the guy on the left-hand side, he's got his head down. And then maybe the woman here. But there are other people who. This is actually interesting. This is interesting. Some had their heads down, others are not.
Yeah,
that's interesting. There's probably something. There's a story in this picture that I have to look into. This is far more interesting than I thought it was.
Yeah. See, this guy here, he's looking across the table. This guy here's kind of looking down. You see his eyes are down. Her eyes are looking at the food. The lady's looking down at the food. He's got his hands folded. This guy's got his hands folded, head down. But this guy here and this guy here is looking at this guy. He's still got his hands folded.
Yeah, he's got his hands together, don't he?
Yes, he does. And it makes a good point in this. The artist who's drawn this makes a good point to show that he's got his hands clasped, but yet he's looking up at this guy or at the sky or something. But he's looking, he's not paying attention to everybody else or got his head. Yeah, it's different. Yeah. A lot to be said in this picture. I'll forward this picture to you, Lucky. Yeah, very interesting picture. I hope
I am wrong. The feathers, you're right. That's not Squanto. That's Massasoit.
Yep, that could be.
That's absolutely Massasoit. I'm wrong. Huh.
And Courtney says it wouldn't have been a priest.
Oh, that's true. I was thinking more of a pastor, but
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. I wonder what guy it would be. I sit down. Courtney says, I sit down at the table with my sword. That's a good one. Okay, Courtney, I'd like to see your sword at the table. Probably cutting up the turkey. Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. I don't see anybody else with a sword. That's kind of weird, but huh. Anyway, that's so much for that picture. That's pretty good. We learned a lot anyway. Learned a lot from that. Let's see. I got some more stuff.
Or
here.
read a lot into it, something that maybe not have been. I might be reading too much into it too.
Well, that's the thing. The higher quality pictures, the more you can read into them because the artists are really trying to convey messages. I mean, okay, so we looked at that picture. Now here's a more simpleton picture, and you can tell by the way the guy painted this picture that it's a very simple picture. It's not, the same, but it is. And I'm looking at this, and I'm saying this is more of a simple picture. And you got a guy with a gun over here. Here's your kind of a priest guy. Here's a couple of women talking to each other, native and a white woman, and she's passing out some bread. And I'm thinking this is a little messed up. But you got a guy. It's a soldier. He's got his hard hat on. This guy looks really out of place, though.
Which one?
The guy with the hard hat on and the big.
Yeah.
Again, that's supposed to represent Michael Sanders, who did not have any armor on him at the time.
Yes. I would have thought he would look more like this. Didn't they usually just wear one color, like black?
Actually, they wouldn't wear black. So they would wear like muted colors, like browns and tans and stuff like that. But black was just no. They would never wear black. The Pilgrims, Puritans wear black because they're silly.
Oh,
but the Pilgrims in those hats, those are Puritan hats. Not, but unfortunately, it is a symbol for them. So it is what it is.
Yeah, like I said, they kind of mix it up, and you notice this guy here. He's got almost like a cowboy hat on, and he's sitting with the Indians, but he looks like an Indian. So I wonder why he's got a hat on, and all these guys got feathers. That's kind of odd there too. So just saying, but the artist paints them all very colorful, make it look better. Anyhow.
And there's a lot in that picture too.
But
like those two women right there. The white woman escorting the native girl.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of, like I said, that was kind of odd. Yeah, I could put it back up here. What did you see with that there? There she is, right here.
Oh.
Yeah. Interesting. Now the native women, would they even have come with the chiefs and stuff, or would they have left them behind? That's a good question. Would they?
I don't know.
Would they have brought their women to the feast?
It depends on how far.
Yeah. And would they have to sit at a different area than the men? Because I know they kind of did that kind of stuff, didn't they? Well, they did. Even these Pilgrims or Puritans or whatever they did, they would have the table for the men, the table for the women, and they have a table for the children.
Mm-hmm.
You don't sit down at the table with everybody, like you do today.
That's true. That is true.
So that other picture with the women and the men all sitting together is not really the way it would have been. I know even when I was a kid, there was always the kids' table. Until you got to be a certain age, you had to sit at the kids' table.
Yeah, that's common with that was my family too.
Yeah, and we had to wait until somebody died to get at the big table.
There you go. Okay, I'm trying to get to this one. Yeah. Okay, so we got to get back to giving gratitude and giving thanks. That's what the season's all about. People forget about that a lot. So, which brings us to this. Back to the importance of gratitude, the emotion that magnifies our experience of what is good, deepens our connections, That's what Thanksgiving's about, is deepening our connection, steals and resolves, and the boys, us to rise above the storm waves of life. It means celebrating the good times that we had and times to come and making those good connections. Our reality is shaped by emotions we feel. I wrote a previous lives about how we feel about them. It explains some study. I'm trying to get to some of this. What you focus on expands, for better or worse. Focus on what's missing and outside of your control, and you will live as a hostage to self-pity and powerlessness. Focus on the potential dangers, and you live as a hostage to worry about fear. Focus on what is unfamiliar and how you've been wronged, and you will live as a hostage of resentment and revenge. On the other hand, focus on all good in your life, the people you love, and on what lays inside of you. So there you go. So we're focused on what's inside of you. That's what it all boils down to. And the people you love, that's what this season's all about. You know, don't fall into the self-pity. Don't fall into the fear or resentment and revenge. Forget all of that crap and just go with the love inside you and be thankful for everybody and everyone.
Well, if I go with inside of me, it'd be all cheese right now.
The what? What did you...
I had cheese today. I was eating cheese for some reason.
It's cheese. It is cheese time. Yeah, I mean, nothing like a good cheese.
That's the problem. I went to the store and I bought food for my son, cooked some food, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we have this special cheese from the local dairy." I'm like, "Yes, please."
And there you go.
You know, I don't want it to go bad, so I ate it all.
David, tell us about one of your wise things about giving thanks.
Well, I would say that going back to what we talked about a half hour ago ish, tradition. There are those folks who, I want to say they want to sort of force, the tradition. Oh, come on, you're going to come to dinner, and oh, come on, it'll be like, and we've been doing this for years now. And come on, you're not going to show up this year, And so I've had conversations with some folks, and I said, of all the things that I've learned over the years, you can't force anybody to want to follow a tradition. If they don't have it in their heart, forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're just coming, well, because they're going to sit around and be bitching. Well, I thought dinner was going to be ready at 1 and it's already 1:15. And, and Uncle Joe's sitting over there in the corner. He's farting away because he had something, he had oysters and clams the night before or something, but the idea though that, with the way things are changing, don't, just because somebody won't follow what you think they should be following, like tradition. Well, why aren't you coming over for turkey? Why aren't you, following? Don't lose hair over that. Don't worry about it. If they don't want to show up, just say thank you very much and just go ahead with your plans. That's all there is to it. If you invite people over for dinner and they don't want to come, don't worry about it. Because I know folks who are like, oh my God, Aunt such and such didn't come. She didn't even call and blah, 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 blah. They said they were and didn't even call. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat the small stuff. The folks that do come and share dinner with you, the folks that do wish to share the day with you, those are the people you should really concentrate on. Not that you should forget everybody else now, but I mean the folks that really do show up, those are the folks that are, your friends or your close family, however you want to put it. And so, and the other thing is that, you know, um, scrambled eggs when you're hungry is a good meal. And if you don't have money for turkey and you got some family or whatever, do scrambled eggs and something. It's about people coming together to share a meal. It's not about what the meal is. So keep that in mind too. Don't fret it. Oh, I don't have money for a turkey. Okay, so buy some chicken. I mean, literally, buy a whole chicken and roast that puppy. You know, it's good. You can put stuffing in it, and save you money. But there's too many people who were literally get all upset this time of year. Suicides are up and all that other kind of stuff. And my dear friends, if Thanksgiving is supposed to be a time to be thankful, every time I wake up now, just waking up, I am so grateful and thankful. I woke up today. Thank you, Jesus. So as you get older, there are things that you will be so grateful for, and things that used to matter in the past don't mean a hill of beans now. So don't sweat the small stuff, but get together with whoever wants to get together and have a great time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the thing. It's being thankful for those little, we talked about in the beginning. You missed a little bit of that a lot of people only look at the big stuff. Lucky's like, hey, I'm thankful I found a penny. And that's important too. Be thankful for the little things. Like you said, I woke up this morning. I'm alive. Thank you.
And I'm not in the hospital with a heart attack. I mean, I'm so grateful.
Yeah. And that's important too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being humbling yourself to say, I can be thankful and grateful for just not having bad health. I'm thankful and grateful for anybody who showed up to my Thanksgiving dinner to spend a little bit of time. And if nobody showed up, well, I'm thankful I'm here and I have a Thanksgiving dinner to celebrate.
Right.
So it's a win-win either way. So there you go. And we should probably wrap this up. Max Vision has his remote viewing class on. I put a link in the chat. I hope everybody goes over there and expands your mind. And I'm going to put a link in for tomorrow's show. That is for Nina the Mystic and myself for Horns of the Goddess. I got to type that in. Horns of the Goddess. And tomorrow night on Sunday Live. Join me there. So there we go. Anyway, but yeah, we're going to be on there. And then, of course, on Tuesday night, you're going to be able to join me and David Null on Native American Myths and Legends. Show for you on Tuesday. It'll be our 104th show. It's always going to be wonderful. And I don't even know what I'm going to do talking about, but I'm going to figure it out. And I'm sure it's going to have to do something with Thanksgiving. And if I can pronounce those names of those tribes right. And I'm probably sure a lot of people have turned it on and said, he's pronouncing it wrong, turn me off. But I try, and I'm thank you, Lucky, for correcting me. How did it said again?
Wampanoag.
Wampanoag, yes. Wampanoag. Some days I listen to certain shows just to hear the voice, the words in my head. So when I go, I don't miss, and I'm getting better. I really am getting better.
Well, it honestly doesn't matter unless your audience happens to be picky about it. And unfortunately, I happen to know people who get really picky about it.
And they do. I mean, I wouldn't want my name slandered either. Hey, I'm proud of my heritage, and you just butchered the name of it. Wampanoag instead of Wampanoag or whatever I was saying. Or
actually, Wampanoag is fine too because it's close enough. But I mean, And also,
Yeah.
unfortunately, my ancestor was not well respected by his tribe. So
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that next week because next Saturday you will be joining me along with Courtney, and we're going to be talking about the Pilgrims, the Native Americans, the feast and the famine and the whatever, and the war between the two bunches. Yeah, whatever. However that went.
you're going to speak about the King Philip's War. That'll be wonderful. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is. Well, that was a big one too. And the King Philip's War, that didn't end good for him. He did make a good show of things.
No, he did make a really big show of it, and fortunately, he had a few spies in the midst. That was his problem.
Me and David been doing this Indian thing for quite a while, and we've noticed that the Indians, that's the one thing they had a downfall of. No matter what plans they had, one of the tribe would somehow go and tell somebody. They always snitched on each other, thinking that they were going to get some kind of trinket or maybe save some lives. And in the end, it just didn't turn out well for anybody because they all got, killed off. I remember the one where the one lady said, "Oh, I'll go tell," and and the guy says, "Okay," and then they came back and they killed her too. I forget what one that was, but I felt bad because she was trying to warn everybody, and then she did, and they said, "Oh, we won't," and then they killed her too. I was like, dang. But anyway, that was the way it is. So any last words, Lucky?
Oh, there's a lot. My brain is these stories. They all come into overlapping. It's a lot. But be thankful for the little things. We're all here and healthy and happy as we can be, and just try to find happiness in the little things. Oof, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Happiness in the little things. David?
I would second or third that with Lucky. Be grateful for what you have and not for, and stop worrying about what you don't have, and scrambled eggs and some bacon and toast. If you don't have a turkey, will work. Just don't let other folks interrupt you. Any kind of meal is a good meal. And anytime you can wake up and still know your name, that's a good day. So, and don't sweat the small stuff. Just, be happy. All right, everybody, don't worry. Be happy now. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Now, Robert and I'll be able to say that to you on Tuesday, but would still, for those folks that might not show up with us, I do want to extend a Thanksgiving wishes to everybody, and that you will find some kind of happiness and be able to be thankful for something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think we can all be thankful, and I think we overlook. I think that you're both right. I think we overlook so much to be thankful for, and we've been focused. I think a lot of people focus on what is bad, and they don't think about all the things they should be thankful for. It's just that what's happened. My car broke. I'm broke. Hey, you got a roof over your head. You woke up this morning. You got your good health. You have good friends. You didn't think about that, but you're worried because your car broke. And sure, that's not a great thing, but maybe if you concentrated and were thankful more for your friends, your house, your good health, and all that other stuff, it wouldn't seem like such a big deal now, would it?
And also that tomorrow is another day.
Yes.
We have another opportunity to fix whatever went wrong today.
Yes.
And, so y'all find peace in your heart.
Absolutely. And with that, remember, people, be the frequency you want to receive, because that's what really, really matters. Peace, everybody.